Whatever got you here, Secretary Noem, I'm glad you found time among your many photo ops and costume changes to testify about why President Trump is seeking more taxpayer dollars and what you plan to do with that money if you get it.
That was, I think, the most of a roast I've ever seen Representative Benny Thompson engage in. But like, you sort of understand where he's coming from when you look at this. Like, man, she loves a good outfit. She loves a good weapon. Just hand it to me. I don't need to know how it works. Put me, I want to grab the steering wheel of some sort of vehicle. It's like a strange Dora the Explorer bucket list sort of situation. Like, hey, I'm flying the plane. I'm driving the truck. I know people train for this, they're certified, but beep, beep, I like vehicle too. And look, is this the way that we should have to talk about the Secretary of Homeland Security? No, it's an important position, one would think. But apparently not, because she was put into that position. She has no qualification for that. What does she know about defending the homeland? I mean, maybe from a dog. Maybe a dog gets out of line, she guns it down. But outside of that, I don't think she knows anything about this. And so he is right to mock her there. She is eminently mockable. And I'm sure if they haven't already, some of them are gonna complain that this is just misogyny. And look, I get it. There's a lot of misogyny in politics. And women in politics definitely are hit by it a lot. But come on, man. Come on. She goes to New York. She puts on like a full ICE uniform to do a hit on Fox News or something. It's not like she was quickly doing an interview while waiting to go out and round up illegals or whatever. She went into the studio. She had full makeup and everything, let alone going to El Salvador and posing in front of prisoners or whatever with her gaudy Rolex. The entire thing is about the image. So we're gonna respond to the image. And the image that I'm getting is a clown. It's a cosplayer. It's someone who is not at all serious. Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you think you can have both. You can do your little photo shoots, you can do your little Instagrams, but then you can also be substantive. Well, we're gonna put that to the test in this first segment of our show, because we're not just gonna focus on the weird, vapid, shallow stuff. We're gonna dive into, can she be serious? Can she be, I don't know, like responsible, respectful, have a bit of gravitas? Let's test that with a few topics, including first, the photoshopped image of Abrego Garcia's tattoos, where he has actual tattoos, and then it's labeled MS-13, even though that's not what the tattoos mean. Donald Trump has said the labels are tattoos. Now, everybody in the world knows that that's not true. So this is really the easiest hurdle to pass. You could casually step over it without even realizing it's there, since she's a serious person, right? Well, let's find out together.
You agree, though, that this is doctored, is that right?
The same protocols that are
Madam
applied
Secretary,
to every
I want you to have credibility, and I want you to be taken seriously. Is this doctored or is it not doctored?
I am taken quite seriously.
Is it doctored or not doctored?
With the importance that the president has given me to do.
I understand. Is it doctored or not doctored?
One thing that's important to remember is that every single time a case is built.
Madam Secretary, I have a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old. I have a bull detector. I'm just asking you, is this doctored or not doctored?
Sir, the protocols in the case built against
Can you
Abrego
answer the
Garcia
question?
Were exactly the same.
Madam Secretary,
I don't have any knowledge as to that photo you're pointing to.
Okay, can you take
I don't, sir.
Can you show her the photo? Walk her the photo down there. No, that one. Please take a look at this photo. It was tweeted by the president on April 21. It's been hanging out there for about a month.
So what is your point?
What do you think his point is? It could not be clear. I think even his 7, 6, and 3-year-old could get the point at that point. Now, look, she refuses to look at it in the same way that she refuses to acknowledge what the question is. And like, can we pause for a second and just acknowledge what's happening here? Like, you're watching the show, you're likely to be like a progressive or whatever. Maybe some of you are conservative, maybe you vote Democrat, maybe you're Republican, maybe you're independent or whatever. But like, you know, the entire bounds of what's happening, every facet of it, she cannot say that which is indisputable because Donald Trump has already said something insane. And that is not good. That's not good for an administration. It's not good for a party. It's not good for a movement. It's not good for a government. It's not good for a country. When Donald Trump has such a cult of personality that he says some smooth brain dripping out of his ears nonsense like, I think these labels are real tattoos. I'm pretty sure they are. And because he got out there first with something insane, rational people who are not doddering old senile fools can't acknowledge it anymore. I mean, if he had gone to her first, if Trump had never commented on it, she'd have said they're labels, right? But now she can't because he has already said the crazy thing. That's like, I never get on my back about mocking her about the cosplay because that's what we get out of her is the cosplay. And then the simplest question, is this doctored? She refused to actually admit it. And everybody, Republican, Democrat, whatever, seeing it knows exactly what she's doing, knows how utterly pathetic it is. But that is what she has chosen to be. And by the way, on the right, all of them are trying to figure out a way around this. I don't even know honestly why they're discussing it, but on Laura Ingram's show, they responded to Representative Swalwell there, who did a great job, by the way, in bringing the actual photo, putting it in front of her face. So she'd have to be like, well, I don't know what photo you're talking about. I can't, this doesn't look like anything to me. So then Ingram says to Byron Donalds, so the picture was translating the symbols on the knuckles. So it was saying, this stands for M, this stands for S. So he is saying it's doctored. He literally knows he's lying. No. But again, that's not what the tattoos actually mean. And Trump did not say it's a caption, it's a translation. He repeatedly said they were not added by Photoshop, they were tattoos. And so all of these people, full-grown people with degrees, with mansions, they got millions of dollars for their political expertise. Every one of them needs to pretend that Trump is not senile, that he's not insane. Or you could say that it's not that he's insane, it's that he's lying more viciously, more transparently than anyone we've ever seen in politics before. And that's fine, I'll accept that as an alternative explanation. Maybe both are true. But she has to acknowledge one of those two if she wants to be taken seriously. And the she is Laura Ingraham or Byron Donalds or also Kristi Noem. All of them are utterly ridiculous. But let's dive into a little bit more of the substance with this.
Will you give Mr. Abrego Garcia the due process that the Supreme Court and Judge Wilkinson has required you to give him?
Abrego Garcia is an El Salvador resident who is in his home country. If he were to come back to this country, he would be immediately removed again.
How do you know?
He has received and been treated appropriately.
So
and he is not.
How can you say he's been treated appropriately if the Supreme Court has ruled 9-0? 9-0 that he hasn't been treated appropriately. Why is your opinion better and have more authority than the Supreme Court?
Investigators, 2 judges, an immigration court that all said he was MS-13 and was removed from this country.
But you understand, that is you saying that. That is you saying that.
That is them saying that. This
no.
is investigators and law enforcement officers.
That is you making that determination.
Yeah, that's just her making that determination. And again, she's kind of lacking in credibility. I mean, look, she wears a good cowboy hat or whatever, but aside from that, I don't trust her again. And by the way, even if he is MS-13, which has not been proven literally at all, the court was very specific. You can't send him to El Salvador. They didn't say you can't send him to El Salvador unless, well, I mean, maybe he's a Bulls fan. Then you can say, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And the Supreme Court, who's aware of literally all of this, said you have to bring him back. And she's saying, not only will we not bring him back, but if he comes back, we're gonna deport him again, which should be, I don't know why it's not, seems like it should be illegal. I mean, she's directly saying, not only have I violated what the Supreme Court has ordered, but I plan to in the future. If anyone ever does what the Supreme Court orders and brings him back, I will then violate the Supreme Court order. How is she not in jail for that? We can even give her some cool outfits to wear when she's in jail or whatever, since that's the only thing she fundamentally cares about. But some of us care more about the substance here. And unfortunately, she is a massive roadblock to anything positive happening on any of these topics.